Welcome to Smart Decoding, your inside look at how we're shaping the future of banking through cutting-edge digital experiences and breakthrough technology. Get ready. Smart Decoding starts now.
Hi, I'm Miki Van Cleave, and I'm the Chief Design Officer at Chase.
And I'm Seth Wheeler, the Chief Data and Analytics Officer here at Chase. We're here today to talk about how design and data intersect in building great customer experiences. So on the topic of talent, I think DNA, and I'm sure it's true for DCE, there are some core components that are highly technical.
Yeah.
Whether someone's building a model or diving in, writing some SQL code and some computer code to be able to retrieve data from the database. Those skills are critical to have, and we need that mix in there as far as talent goes. But I think especially with the rise of Gen AI, and we'll talk more about that, I think increasingly the problem solving, thinking with the business mind, thinking customer first and understanding the full problem, and then applying those technical skill sets for that's just one component. So I think as I think about my leadership team and thinking about the talent we need, I think someone who's intellectually curious, someone who's customer focused, customer obsessed, and really just relentlessly trying to do the right thing. And if there's a gap in the skill set or something they don't know from a technical perspective, we'll crack the code, we'll figure that out. But I think it's the mindset and that hunger to learn that's really critical. Thoughts on talent on design side?
Yeah, completely agree with you about mindset. It's always been important, but I agree totally with your kind of thesis that the more and more automation that comes our way, the less I need folks who understand how to push the pixels and more people who understand the process and the problems and how to solve those. It's critical thinking at a scale we haven't seen before. And, you know, in this new era of AI too, I really need every single person who joins my team in the coming years to understand at least the basics of conversational design.
Yeah.
I am hiring a lot more folks who have backgrounds in human-computer interaction. It's just shifted over the years. And so I think that as long as folks, regardless of their background, come from a curious mindset and are ready to help craft the future as opposed to being afraid of it, there's a place for them here. But you sort of have to be willing at Chase to raise your hand and try things you've never done before. Pays off really well. But if you're afraid to do that, this is a tough industry to be in.
Yeah. As far as talent, one of the things I try to emphasize with any new hires on our team, especially the senior leadership, is really you got hired for impact. You didn't get hired for technical expertise. You didn't, maybe that as well, but you didn't get hired for a comment in a meeting or a resume. You got hired for what difference are you going to make when you're here?
Yeah.
And I think that intellectual curiosity and then end-to-end ownership, that whether the thinking about the boundaries between design and data analytics. I love when your designers are thinking about like the interesting data-driven questions. And certainly when our analytics folks are using data to deeply understand customer needs and how that might shape the experience. I think increasingly, it's not to say that we'll completely converge, but I think increasingly that end-to-end ownership and saying, hey, my job is to deliver a great customer experience, period. And my job doesn't start or end with a certain job description.
Totally agree. I think the job description a few years from now is going to be fascinating. And it's going to be sort of a melting pot of a lot of what we already do. But, you know, we've talked about it before. It ultimately comes back to the why. And you have to be focused on making yourself somebody who is willing to help regardless of the circumstances, who is easy to work with. I always tell my team, I get to meet some of the smartest, funniest people in the industry. But I will take somebody who knows how to work on a team versus the most brilliant person on the planet any day of the week. Because it's just not worth it to go through this many hours in the day working with people who leave chaos in their wake.
Yeah.
And it makes it harder to be a leader.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching. To learn more, follow us on LinkedIn or check out our Next at Chase blog on medium.com.